Hello, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm so happy to have you guys here. We're going to dive right into your reading today. I do want to start by thanking those of you who watch my videos, who like, who share, who comment, who have subscribed to my channel. Thank you so very much. I do really appreciate you and the support that you've given my channel. To those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. I am very happy to have you here as well. I hope that you find a message that really resonates, that brings you some peace and clarity, and that if you do, that you will also like and share and subscribe. All right, guys, we're going to dive right in. Just keep in mind these are general readings, so take what resonates and leave the rest. For Pisces, please, Spirit. Okay. Pisces, it's like every reading has this same sort of energy kind of signature here lately, where it's like, I feel like there's been some space or some silence. You know, meditation and contemplation are words that we associate with the Four of Swords. You have gotten the Four of Swords, I think, recently a few times, but it's also just this energy of distance or you know, silence. You know, distance can be physical, can be emotional, can be, you know, time. It can be all kinds of things. But it feels like someone's had a chance to sort of think about things. And I feel like everything is happening exactly as it's meant to. I feel like you may actually even have the opportunity to get some kind of confirmation for this before that it even happens, because you have this look for a sign energy, which, you know, if you want confirmation that this is your reading, or you want, you know, you can ask your angels, like, show me a sign, show me this angel number, show me that, like, show me something specific, maybe even lightning, you know, whatever. You know, whatever it is. Whenever I ask for that, like, even if I were to ask for lightning for a sign, like, when I may be saying that, I may be thinking like lightning from a storm, and I'll be driving down the street and I'll find myself stuck in traffic behind lightning computer repair, or you know what I mean, a truck that says that, and go, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? So ask for the sign that is going to bring you confirmation. But, you know, if this is your reading, or if this is your story, or if this person is coming towards you, or if, you know, whatever it is that you want an answer for. And then you have this listen to your intuition energy, which, you know, I think with a Pisces, it's sort of, you are very intuitive, you are the high priestess. But this is an energy where just because we have a strong intuition doesn't always mean we're listening to it. I tell this story a lot. When I was really trying to develop my own intuition and my intuitive skills, I took a class, and in that class it was all about like learning to listen to your intuition. And it was really just like a daily practice of, okay, you know, hearing the voice, because it is a soft voice, it is a quieter voice. Our ego is much louder. And I think I've told this story, but like, this is just one example, and this is the first example, which is why my mind always goes to it. But I was at my house, and my dog had gotten one of those dog toys that has like tons of stuffing in it. And he had gone crazy, tearing it apart, having the time of his life in the front hallway that led to my front door. And I looked over and I saw it, and I had something that I needed to do real quick. I needed to send an email. There was a few things actually that I needed to do, and I was getting ready to do them. And my intuition said to me, get up and clean up the stuffing right now. And so I did. I got my broom and my dustpan and my garbage bag, and I swept it up. And right as I was finishing and putting everything away and getting back to what I was doing, my doorbell rang. And it was my neighbor, and it was completely unexpected. My neighbor came over, and I ended up talking to my neighbor for quite some time and inviting her in. And had it been 30 seconds before, or had I not listened to my intuition, that hallway would have been full of stuffing. And so there is this thing, you know, it's not that my intuition wasn't talking to me before that. It's that, you know, I would have been like, oh, I would have put my intuition off. I would have prioritized what I had set out to do rather than listening to my intuition in the past prior to that. But because I was under such heightened awareness of it, and because I was, trying to dutifully learn and grow and practice and focus on this, I listened, and as a result, I was not embarrassed when I opened my front door. And so I am just really keying in on that, like when your intuition tells you something. So for some of you, if you have not met someone yet, this keeps coming out. You guys have been getting the Temperance card for like months, and it's really starting to feel like for some of you, if you don't have someone, if you haven't met someone, that it can be that this is trying to get worked out for you. And if your intuition says, hey, go get a pizza, go get a pizza. If it says go pick up your dry cleaning after work today, when you had planned to do it the next day, go do it today, because you just don't know who you're going to run into. You just don't know who you're going to come across. Like, listen to your intuition, especially it seems like because there's something about timing that is trying to happen here. So let's dive into this energy and see what else we can see. Something's coming together perfectly. Perfect timing for Pisces, please, Spirit. Wow, you're ready for it. You're absolutely ready for it. Wow, okay, codependent patterns in reverse. And you are getting, okay. This is really interesting. Pisces, timing is all about, timing is a human construct, right? And so it doesn't exist when the universe is concerned. What does exist is energy, and where we're at energetically, and what we're a frequential match to, and what we are able to harmonize with. And you have this energy of rise of the feminine. And so it feels like, whether you're a masculine or a feminine, we all have divine masculine and divine feminine energy within us. And, the feminine energy is the receptive energy, the intuitive energy, and the I'm getting just like a nurturing even type of energy. So you may be in a place in your life right now where you have let go. You have this codependent patterns in reverse. For some of you, you may have actually sort of spent some time here looking at your relationships, or even it's like I'm looking at all the buckets in which I place my energy in, and I'm kind of evaluating if those buckets are really serving me or if they're not. So like, on my job, okay, if I'm working overtime, all right, if I'm getting paid time and a half, maybe it is worth it. You know what I mean? But if I'm not, and I'm not getting paid extra, and I'm not getting paid at all, I'm letting it go. I actually was just having a conversation with a friend of mine whose boss, he was looking at his phone, and he was like, my boss called me 21 times outside of the office last month. And oftentimes it's for really nothing important. And he was saying, I don't know how to communicate to my boss that I have a life, and he's out with other people, he's socializing, he's doing his errands, doing all the things that he needs to do when he's not at work, and his boss is constantly calling him. And he was like, his girlfriend actually said to him, like, how many times is your boss calling you? Because I know how many times your boss calls you when you're with me, and it's like happens every single time. So like, how often is it? And so he looked, and he discovered that it was, the frequency was pretty intense, and that, he just, and he was like, and then I started thinking about the content of the calls, and then I started paying attention to the content of the calls. And he was like, it was nothing important. It was nothing that needed my attention. It was nothing worth, getting a phone call on my personal time. And he was like, I don't know how to work that out. I don't know how to communicate that. Like, I don't I don't know how to say, hey, this is my time, you know? And but with this codependent patterns in reverse, it feels like there is this energy of all of these things that are kind of draining me, all of these things that are, you know, it's even like sometimes we want to have a lot of friends, or we think it's a good thing to have a lot of friends, or to have a lot of people that we can call up and like go out with, or you know, I don't know. But then, you know, some of those friends sometimes are friends that will call you and they always need to vent. They're always like, how are you? What's up with you? And then it turns into an hour-long session of this is what's wrong in my life, blah, 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 you know, whatever. And you know, I just feel there is this energy of, you know, especially as the feminine energy in the world is sort of programmed to be like, you are here for everyone else's benefit. You are here to help, to be all of these things, and to give, and to nurture, and to, you know, all this stuff. And, you know, it's kind of, I feel this energy of like taking the power back and saying, okay, look, I am happy nurturing, I'm happy giving to the things that give back to me, or to the things that where it feels really gratifying, or where it feels like, you know, I'm not just emptying my energy into a bottomless cup that will never be full, that will never be satisfied. And so there's almost this energy of really looking at those things and kind of letting them go, letting go of even the kind of the common traps that we get caught in, where, you know, we really want to say no, but we're saying yes. And I mean, this, I'm not just saying this is women, I'm saying this is like the feminine energy within all of us. You know, I just told you a story about a friend of mine that's a man that has this problem. You know, he wants to say no, and he wants to figure out how to tell his boss, hey, I have a boundary. But he, you know, has just always found it easier just to take the call and just to deal with it. And so, you know, that's a time where you're saying yes and you really want to say no. You know what I mean? So we all do it. We all do it. We all have this energy within us where we feel kind of honor bound or duty bound, or like, oh, we should just do it. Oh, blah, blah, blah. You know, but there's this energy with the roll of the dice next to it where I almost feel like it's almost like taking the risk and being like, no, I'm not doing this. No, I'm not answering the phone. No, I'm not, you know, I'll let this person go, or I'll lose this relationship, or I'll see how loyal this person is to me. Not as in a test, but as in a, you know, you're going to call me with your problems all the time. I'm suddenly going to be very busy, and I'm just going to say, you know what, I have a lot going on. I'm so sorry I can't talk on the phone right now. You know, and we'll see. Do you still want to talk to me for any other reason, or do you still check on me, or do you still care how I'm doing when I'm not willing to listen to you vent for an hour? You know what I mean? It's that kind of energy. It's like, I'm just taking it all. I'm just gambling. I'm just seeing. I'm just feeling like, hey, you know what? I'm not down for it right now. You know what I mean? But there's this energy of, I feel like someone coming in at the perfect time, when it's like you're sort of in this energy and this person is worth it. This person is rare. This person is unique. And I think this person, and having this person around, is almost helping to solidify that it's like, you know, I don't want to spend my time talking to all these other people when I could be talking to this person. Or I don't want to, you know, like exhaust my social battery in all of these situations and then not have my best left for this person. There's something about it. And I also feel like there's someone that's looking at you, that's seeing the way that you're doing things and the way that you're sort of holding boundaries, and the way that you're not letting toxic stuff get to you or even distract you, and that they're finding it very attractive. They're like, man, you know, Pisces is, you know, kind of a badass, for lack of a better term. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you have this drowning the path, which is, kind of a heavy energy, right? And then you have the free self, the unconventional soul, and so close yet so far. You know, it almost feels to me, Pisces, like there's a lesson that you have learned that, and it's almost like I feel you've mastered the energy of it, and there's someone who's struggling with it who is kind of like watching you, and it feels like they're extremely attracted to this, but yet at the same time they don't understand it, because there's someone who hasn't mastered it yet. They don't even maybe really fully understand it. They may still be giving their time and energy to a lot of things that are draining them and sucking them, and they may be prioritizing things that are even, you know, creating kind of blockages and delays in parts of their life that could be moving forward, but they're kind of like giving so much to this situation and to that situation that they're not able to make progress. Like it's distracting them, it's pulling them away from it. And it's like they may be looking at you and the way that you're living your life now and going, man, you know, I wish I could be that way. Now, I also see that this person takes it as this thing as where they don't maybe fully understand you or understand what makes you tick, or how you're kind of doing this, how you're like, what exactly it is. It's like they can't put their finger on it completely. And it might also kind of make them nervous. It's like they may feel like they're making progress with you, but then at times they may feel like they really don't understand you, or like if you're that untethered to anything or feel that free from everything, then maybe you are how do I want to say it, impossible to catch. You know, it's giving me that energy of, you know, like trying to catch a butterfly. You have, wow, oh my gosh. This, listen to your intuition. You're getting honoring the body. Again, listening to your intuition is honoring your body. It's an energy of, you know, honoring the messages that we're getting by acting upon them, listening to them. You have this softening your heart and missing you silently. Pisces, again, at the very beginning, when I was talking about there's some kind of distance potentially here, now we're getting missing you silently. You know, it feels like there's this energy of, you know, what does it really say when you say, I miss you to someone? You know, I care about you. You're not here. I feel that you're not here. It doesn't feel great. You know, I wish you were here. I like it better when you're around. You know, I care about you. I have feelings for you. Possibly even I love you, right? All those things can be gleaned from like, I miss you. And so it's kind of like someone who, it's like they're trying to hold it back. There's almost like, I don't necessarily want to be this vulnerable, or I don't necessarily feel comfortable being this vulnerable, but you have kind of worked a number on someone's heart. And they may not have even been prepared for this. They may not have even been ready for this. But it's like, you know, when, I don't even, you know, when there's somebody in your life and I don't know, maybe you have a class with them or you work with them or whatever. And it's like, they're just kind of always around. And, you know, you're like, oh, hey, how you doing? Or, you know, it's like, it doesn't even have to be like a major relationship, but it's just like, you just kind of get used to them being there. And then it's like, they're not there. And you recognize that they're not there. Like they've somehow wormed their way into your heart. You didn't intend to care about them. You didn't intend to develop a relationship with them. You know, it wasn't something that you necessarily planned or even realized was happening while it was happening, is really what it is. And yet here we are. Somehow you've softened my heart. You've worked your way in past my defenses, past, you know, all this stuff. and you made me care about you, and now you're not here, and now I'm sitting here wishing you were, missing you silently. And so it's almost like someone may have actually be taking this time to like try to improve on themselves, or even try to like understand you or understand the philosophy that makes you tick or how you work. They could even be like looking at your social media, or if they know about your spiritual ideas, maybe they're Googling it, maybe I don't know. Maybe they're even asking you about it. I'm not really sure, but there's just some energy here of, this person sort of almost like trying to elevate themselves to be on your level. And, like, it may have something to do with spending more time by themselves, or really, prioritizing themselves, loving themselves, making themselves more of a priority here, listening to their own intuition, honoring their own self. You have this attracting you energy. It feels like they're really trying to, they may even be sending out messages like, text me, call me. You may feel that energy of like, oh man, I should call this person, or I should text this person. But it's really, I feel like it's them kind of trying to reach out to you, or sending you some kind of, subliminal message or whatever. But there's just this feeling of, it's a little bit of like, I don't necessarily really want to take a huge risk. So, I want you to kind of come toward me, but like, I really miss you, and I don't know how much longer I can hold out like this. It's a lot. It's a lot of different energies. All right, let's dive into the tarot real quick. Let's see what's on their mind. What is on this person's mind, please, Spirit? What is in their heart, please, Spirit? And what actions? Okay. Oh, wow. Their mind is the Seven of Swords. So their mind is betraying them. Wow. In their heart space, you got the Tower. And then as far as their actions, you got the Eight of Wands. And you have the Queen of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. This person is really seeing you as someone that they would really like to commit to, or someone that has a lot of value, is very high value. They see your worth. They see your value. They see kind of it's almost like the way you live life. And when you don't have time for it, and you don't tolerate other people's BS in life, it sends the message to people that you do care about yourself, and that you do love yourself, and that you love yourself, in fact, too much to actually deal with other people's bullshit. And it is like, I see my own worth. I recognize my own worth. I recognize my own value. And so it may be with this person that they're really seeing that in you, based on this idea that you're kind of not putting up with other people's toxicity. And it may be messing with them a little bit. When you can kind of spend some time with someone and sort of know how they tick, or kind of what's up with them, or read them sort of easily, or they are an open book, and you can just sort of go, oh, okay, this is why they're like that. There is some comfort in that, right? There is some like, oh, okay, that makes sense, kind of energy. But like, also, there's not really a mystery. There's not really something that's going to keep you really interested in continuing to get to know them. Or I don't know, that's not necessarily true, but I mean, it just depends on what you're looking for. But there's something here with this person with the Seven of Swords where, their way of thinking, or even their way of prioritizing things or whatever, may not necessarily be in alignment with what they really want. Or I feel a sense of like duty and obligation and this and that with this person, where it's kind of like, how do I even want to say it? I don't prioritize myself. I prioritize my sense of duty and obligation, and being a good person and doing the right thing or something, over my own wants and desires. And it's like, you're still an autonomous person, you're still this, you're still that, and like, yeah, if you make a commitment, you should stick to it, I guess. But like, you also have to be asking yourself, is this commitment still working for me? Do I still want to be a part of this commitment? You know, can I get out of this commitment? You know what I mean? There's something here where this person's like way of thinking is not in alignment with them completely. And I think it's being exposed sort of through this connection with you, because you are so the opposite of this. You are so kind of like, I know my worth, I know my value, and I know my priorities, and I know, you know what I mean? And you're just sort of like really in alignment here. With the Tower card in their heart space, this is that energy of like, I really wasn't intending on having feelings for you, but like, here we are. This person's, wow, that is just crazy. This person's actions is the Eight of Wands. So this person is definitely going to communicate, or they have communication heavily on their mind. All right, Pisces, you're showing up with the Empress in your mind, and that's really what I'm seeing is, you know, the Empress, she's not like over here prioritizing other people over herself. You know, she's worried about what she's creating. She's focused on her own energy. She's focused on, you know, her own abundance, her own manifestations. She, you know, it's like live and let live. You know, she's living, she's letting other people live, but she's not letting other people like suffocate her or drown her or cling to her or use her or energetically vampire her. She's just like, I'm over here taking care of what I got to take care of. In the heart space, you got the Eight of Cups, which is this energy of like, I'm walking away, even if I've invested heavily in a friendship or in a job or in a whatever, it's like, I'm not afraid to walk away from the things that I know are ultimately are not emotionally fulfilling for me. But then in your actions, you have the Two of Swords, which feels like, you know, for some of you, you may be in an energy where you're like, I'm not really open to seeing anything, or I'm not open to really feeling anything, or, you know, I'm a little closed off, or I'm a little bit stagnant here. This is most oftentimes with the Two of Swords, it's kind of an intentional, I feel that it's a choice that we make, the Two of Swords, to be like, it's usually like if I've been hurt, or if there's just an energy here of like, I'm pulling my focus in. I'm pulling my focus in. I'm walking away from the things that were not making me happy or making me feel fulfilled. And I'm really focused on what I'm trying to create in my life. And I'm just not looking for a mess. I'm not looking for something that's going to distract me. I'm not looking for something that's going to upend what I am really focused on creating in my life. I feel like you're at the end of a difficult cycle. For some of you, you've already completed the cycle. For others of you, it's still completing, which is why you're probably in the Two of Swords. When we've been hurt, or when we've just been through a lot, we usually want to get back our own energy and like sort of heal before we take on new things. And that's sort of this feeling. Let's see what the energy of the connection is. King of Pentacles, dang. And then you have the Nine of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. So when it comes to this connection, it does feel like there's a great amount of potential here. The King of Pentacles is very solid and stable energy. It is abundant energy. It's an energy that also has mastered the material world. So there's nothing in the material world that's going to kind of like tear this thing apart. We're going to clarify. So, what is the Seven of Swords? Oh, can I get one more? Okay, we're getting two more. Okay, so this person is also at the end of oh, wow. So this person, it feels like they're also sort of in a recovery period, or how do we know when we're done recovering, right? Especially because healing is not linear, it's cyclical. So it's not like we cross some finish line and it's like, woohoo, we're done, we're done healing. But it feels like this person has been hurt before, and they're too at the end of a really long and difficult cycle that where it's like, it feels like a lot of things happened to them that were not awesome. And I feel like this person, I think this is why their mindset isn't really in alignment with their heart at this time, or with their self at this time, because it's like this idea of putting themselves out on the line or being vulnerable, especially when it feels like they're dealing with an entity that they don't understand. They're dealing with you, a high priestess. They're dealing with someone who maybe isn't really rushing to make them feel super comfortable, which, okay, that is no judgment. Like, that is literally, we don't want to overgive, and we don't want to, like, somebody, if this person can't meet you where you are, then they're not ready to be in a relationship with you. They still need to heal more in order to be able to, like, come forward to this relationship, and you want them to do that before they come forward. Otherwise, it's just going to get messy and yucky, right? So you could just wait for them to completely close out the cycle. But it looks like either for a lot of them too, they have closed it out completely with the 10 here. But for others of you, they are working on it. But it's kind of like this person sort of almost knows and recognizes that this connection with you would make them vulnerable and would make them sort of open them up to another round of suffering if it didn't go well. If they expressed how they felt, if they offered how they felt. And for some of you, the Page of Cups is a secret admirer card, so this can be someone who hasn't actually even told you how they feel, or is just sort of admiring you from afar. And that could be what's out of alignment. Like, this person's been watching you, they really like you, but they're not telling you. Man, yeah, see, this person, I think they had plans on being alone for a while. I think that they were in this process or they may be somebody who actually really is happy being by themselves, and they may have been really kind of like, I'm going to stay single for a year, or I'm going to stay single for 2 years, or I'm going to stay single for 3 months, or you know what I mean? They may have made some kind of deal with themselves, or had some kind of conversation with themselves where they were like, I think I'm just going to stay single for a while, because, when I'm single, I'm happy. Nothing comes in, nothing disrupts, nothing affects me. And so I think that this sort of snuck in on them. I do think that they do realize that they do kind of have feelings for you, because the Sun is a lot. This can be a reconciliation of soulmates, but it's also a lot of happiness. It's the happiest card in the deck. And in your heart space, when you got a happy heart, usually that's because you're feeling love, or you're feeling cared for, you're feeling really excited to see somebody, or you're excited about the prospect of where something may go. It's like your heart's been woken up, right? And so this may have come at a great shock to this person who was really planning on kind of being by themselves for a while. Man, oh man, this person, yeah, it's in their mind. They're trying to deny it. They're trying to move away from it, or they have been, that they want to express themselves, or that they should tell you how they feel, or they've been thinking about it, contemplating it, but they have been wounded recently, and they don't want to be wounded again, and they don't really know what you're going to say, because you hold your cards very close to your vest, and they can't really predict you. And they were planning on being single, but you make them so freaking happy that it's created this real conflict within them, that it's made them kind of crumble their defenses around their heart chakra. And with the 8 of Wands and the Lovers and the Magician, this is someone who has pretty much made up their mind to come talk. They're getting up their confidence. They're stepping into their power. They're getting back on their horse, and they're riding in, Pisces, because they want to communicate. I think they want to tell you how they feel, or that they think that this is, a soulmate relationship. Pisces, I think for you, your life is about what you want. It's about the beginnings that you want. It's about pursuing the things that you want and desire. And I think that your energy is really focused on yourself, and really focused on, kind of going after what you want in life right now, and really creating that kind of world for yourself. I feel Pisces, what is this? You know, yeah, there, you have had relationships that have made you second guess yourself or kind of feel badly about yourself with the Five of Swords. Things that have defeated you or made you feel defeated or made you feel less than. And it almost feels kind of intentional with all these swords. It feels like you're like, you know, I'm tired of trying to navigate these spaces with toxic people or jealous people or envious people who really want to cut me down or want to make me second guess myself. You know, with the Six of Cups here, it's kind of like I want to focus on the things that are in harmony with me, that are in union with me, that, you know, like maybe you have some old friends, some childhood friends even, that, you know, they've just always been there for you. They're very reliable and you're just like, that's enough for me. You know, I want to be able to give to those kinds of relationships and those things that where they're thinking about me and I'm thinking about them and I love them and they love me, and you know, it's been this way forever. They're reliable, you know. And I'm just gonna wait for it's almost like with the Seven of Pentacles, it's like I trust the universe that when something is meant to be, or when someone whom I'm supposed to have some kind of relationship with, friendship with, love relationship with comes in, I'll know it. But the best thing I can do for myself until that time comes is not deal with the things that tear me down, deal with the things that build me up, and continue to kind of fertilize and harvest those things that I think have the potential to come to fruition in my life, just in general. The relationships, the jobs, the ideas, the, you know, self work, you know, whatever it is. It's like I'm going to tend to those things. I'm going to put all of my focus and all of my attention on the things that pan out and have the potential to come to fruition. And I'm going to take my mind and my heart away from the things that have always just made me feel like crap. Okay. So there's a problem with reciprocity here for you, Pisces, it feels like, and that's what's left you in the Two of Swords. You know, then there's also this thing about, I feel like relationships that put you in your head and make you kind of overthink or make you feel trapped or make you feel almost like the problem is yours and it's not yours. You know, people project their problems onto you and then you start thinking they're yours, but you don't know where it came from. You don't know why you feel that way. You don't know why and it's because it's not yours. It's somebody else's. And it keeps you really tied up. And it's like, man, I didn't really ever question my worth until I came into contact with that person who, you know, I can look at and say, man, very clearly they have insecurity, or very clearly they don't know their own worth, or they question their value. And you know, it's like, but it seems like it rubbed off on me, or it seems like now all of a sudden it's my problem, or now all of a sudden it's something that I'm grappling with. And I think like you are also probably getting in relationships with people who could only meet you as deeply as they'd met themselves, and they hadn't met themselves very deeply. So there was just this inability to grow. There was this inability to flourish that was happening. And so the Two of Swords, it's kind of like, you know, I'd rather not be in relationships at all, or I'd rather just kind of have worry about myself and my own energy and going after what I want, and just focusing on those few relationships in my life that I've had for a long time, or that have always been in harmony with me, or when I think about them, it puts a smile on my face kind of energy. And just, you know, wait for people who are ready to give what I'm ready to give to a relationship, to show up. And then I'll give everything I have to it. And you do have the Four of Wands here, so I do feel like you are trusting that there is a soulmate out there for you, or that this potential is there. Wow. In the energy of the relationship, you have the Seven of Wands and the Three of Pentacles with the King of Pentacles with the Nine of Cups on the bottom of the deck. You know, Pisces, I feel like someone really wants to fight for this relationship, and I do feel like they are somebody who is ready to commit, and I do feel like they are someone who can meet you deeply. I also feel like there's someone whose intent is to share a vision and share a plan with you, and to work together to build something solid for the future. I feel like This is a relationship where you can maintain your own sense of happiness, and so can they. It may even serve that happiness. Like, you may be happier because you are in each other's life. But there's definitely a very serious energy here with the King of Pentacles. It's like, this is the committer. This is the husband of the tarot card deck. This is also action. And with the Seven of Wands, it's like, it's something worth protecting and worth fighting for. So you have the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. And our first card was that perfect timing with the rise of the feminine energy there. And so it is giving me this vibe of like, you are there and they are there. And when you are there together, great things can happen. And so, yeah, you may have your own things to overcome. You both may have been treated badly by other people in the past, but you know, Pisces, I think you've worked very hard to like get to this place where you are feeling very confident and comfortable in your own skin, and that, you know, you have achieved great things, and that you've pulled your focus in and really focused on the things that you can control, and not giving your energy to places that don't appreciate it and can't give back to you. And as a result, you've increased your abundance and your stability and your security in your own life. And I think this person, you know, I think that at one point they were looking for happiness in another person. And I feel like they took their power back and figured out how to be happy on their own. And they're showing up kind of emotionally equipped. I think they had other plans when they met you. I think they were going to stay single. I think that they were, you know, not necessarily looking for this. I think it's hard for them to wrap their mind around it. And I think for you, you're very independent, and you're trying to kind of stay independent because you've just been bit so many times by sucky people, that you're just like, you know, I'm kind of better off on my own. But it's like, when two people come together like this, a lot can happen. And that's what I see in the energy of the connection with the King of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, and the Three of Pentacles. It's this pretty solid energy for a relationship. So take that as it resonates. Let's dive in with some messages and see what we get. If you are dealing with a water sign, you are getting, I know you don't feel the same. I don't want to know. See, that High Priestess, this person really does not know how to read you. I daydream about a life with you. They don't know how you feel. I feel that way. They're not sure. Even if you think it's obvious, I don't know if it is. You have, if you're dealing with a fire sign, so many things remind me of you. I can't stop thinking about you. We don't share the same values. I want to feel that way again. I lost myself for a little while. The timing just wasn't right for us. Well, maybe it is now. If you're dealing with an earth sign, you're getting, I don't know what you want. I don't know what comes next. I can't be with you. I still feel the pain, and I feel so drawn to you. And if you are dealing with an air sign, you are getting, I watch your social media. Just being near you is intoxicating, and it was my fault, but I blamed you. All right, Pisces, this is what I have. I hope it helps. I hope it brings you some peace and clarity. If it does, let me know. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I love to hear from you guys, and I just genuinely thank you for all your support. It really means the world to me. Until next time, guys, I send you off with all my very, very best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye.